Lego City mountain building. It's coming along good. We've got one hill or mountain built right there. Woohoo! Yeah, we've got lots more in the plans though, right? I want to make like a mountainous region all over here. Going up to the Winter Village and also going up to the Mountain View Observatory, which will be way up there hopefully. And then we will have the Ninjago like temples within the mountain. But I want to create the foot of the next mountain, which is going to go right there. And this is going to have to accommodate a couple different tunnels, one for vehicles. Got a wood structure right there. That'll probably change. I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but we'll try and figure it out, I guess. And then another one for trains right there, because there's actually a switch track, and then the train will go underneath the mountain, underneath the residential area, pop out on the other side underneath Ninjago, and then eventually make its way to the Studgate train station. But I need to come up with a base construction. I've sort of done that with the Technic panels there. I started that a very long time ago, and today I want to continue working on this area because I think this looks really good. But then when you look over here, it's like, wow, that doesn't look good at all. Well, I'm going to give it to you straight here, everybody. This project here, it looks intimidating. I just finished this one, and now it's like I've got to do it all again. But this one over here is going to be a little bit different. My intention is to have flatter spots with more cliffs rather than having a gradual green slope like this one here. You see how it's sort of gradual? That is very part intensive, like very part intensive, because every single little plate has to be reinforced. Whereas if we have more flat regions like this here, if we go up with a cliff and then it's flat, then we go up with another cliff and then it's flat again, it's not going to be as part intensive. So I think it's not going to be as intimidating as the other one there, but the reason I want to build it like that is because I want this one to accommodate campsites and cabins and stuff like that. That's why I loosely fit these old school Creator 3-in-1 cabins up here. And in order to accommodate campsites and stuff, you need flat spots. Nobody wants to camp on a hill. That doesn't sound fun at all, right? I'm not going to set up my tent on a hill. So I think for it to be realistic, it's got to have flat spots. And therefore, it's going to be a little bit easier to build. And I look forward to it. It's going to be pretty awesome. It's been a long time since we've looked at this here, and I'm going to try and wrap my head around what we're going to do. Tunnel, bridge, train track, campsites, train tunnel, etc. But you know what? There's something strange that's happening with this area, and it's sort of clouding my mind as well. You can see everything's lining up pretty much perfectly with the tables that we designed. I mean, some of the plates are misaligned a little bit, but for the most part, everything lines up quite nicely. And this grid starts over there and goes everywhere. But when I look at this here, I've noticed a little bit of misalignment. See, this goes right up to the edge of the plate, but then it's bridging over almost 2 studs. So there's like 2 studs of misalignment. I don't know if it's because this needs to move over or if this needs to move over, but this doesn't appear like it needs to move over. You see? It lines up with our tables. But then this lines up with our tables here. So what, is this like crooked or something? What? Is the whole residential crooked? Because it's lining up here, but then all of a sudden it's not lining up over here. So I need to like try and figure out what's going on there, or just brush those 2 studs underneath the mat and forget that they even exist, you know? I should try and fix it though. I don't even know where to begin. Look, these plates aren't lined up. See that? That's the difference. So I don't get it. Where is it coming from? I don't know. Is this whole like area here slightly angled and this all needs to be pushed over? Maybe, but then it's thrown off with the table alignment. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud here. I don't know. It's sort of strange. I'd hate to build it all up and then be like, oh no, it doesn't work out. I guess I'll just transfer this whole section up to my desk there. Well, it was actually too large for the desk there, so we put them on the floor. And the first thing we're going to take care of is actually merging some of these mill plates. They're all individual 48 by 48 mill plates, but we may as well merge 2 of them together, making it approximately 30 inches by 15 inches. It's going to be easier to build that way because there's not as many connecting sections, and it's going to be easier to transport into the Lego City as well. But I sort of got to plan that strategically because we want to merge the right sections together. For example, there's probably going to be like a retaining wall on this side here, so these 2 should go together, and then maybe those two in the back there, and these two here, and those two, and that leaves a single one there. And when we merge them together, we're going to be able to conserve a little bit of pieces because, for example, if we merge these two together, these two Technic plates can share the same upright support, similar to what we did right here. So we're going to save a little bit of those, and it's going to make it a little bit stronger as well. And when we rebuild the black panels, we're actually going to throw a couple Technic pins in because these ones aren't pinned together. So there's going to be another layer of like strength within the build as well. I've come up with a plan, and you know what? In regards to the spacing, I'm actually just going to build it and just hope it works out in the end. If it doesn't, it should. So I'll just have to move things around in the city, whether that means the big platforms, have to get things more square, or move the countryside mills plates out or whatever. It should work according to the grid that we built. So just got to build it as if it's going to work. But yeah, these are all the different sections. So this little guy stayed on his own, and then we've got those two there merged together. This large one here, another large one there, and another large one in the back. And all the Technic panels have been pinned together, and they're all reinforced on the bottom, and you'll notice that they're no longer black, they're green. We decided to mill split it using a plate technique, so it's just underlying plate rather than brick, and then the 4x4s on top. That adds another layer of rigidity, and of course it changes the color to green, which I think is a great base color for any landscaping. And then of course we can add some more colors on top when we add like a road or water or whatever it may be. Now the platform, definitely not going to be building with the platform because I was doing some measuring down there, and in order to accommodate a train bridge, we have to go up pretty high. There's the high-speed passenger train, and you can see there's some plate going over top of it. And in order to get clearance going over top of the train, we need 14 bricks. These mill plates over here are built up 8 bricks, so this bridge needs to start at 14 bricks, so I need to raise up the road after that bridge gradually to this height and build a bridge going over top of the train for vehicles. So yeah, the wood platform isn't going to work for that reason, because this right here is 14 bricks. That's one of the lattice pieces and 4 bricks on top. And you can see how tall it is in comparison to the wood platform. So obviously we can't sneak a tunnel under there, and I don't really feel like using wood because everything else is brick built. So I may as well keep it consistent so we can get the math right everywhere. Now, what I need to do is merge these two 48x48s together, and I'm also going to merge it with these 32 stud base plates on the side. And then I'm going to create another giant module over there, which would be 2.5 by 1.5 base plates. And the foundation for it needs to start at 14 bricks. And then I'm going to use the exact same technique using the Technic panels and 4x4 plates. A ton of parts, but it's going to be a really good foundation for this mountain. It's going to be perfect. And having that tunnel, 14 bricks, or like start 14 bricks up off the ground amongst this landscaping is going to be super cool. Yeah, it's something different that I'm pretty excited about. Yeah, just got to pretty much rinse and repeat that process though with these 2 remaining plates. Here's my process for building these giant structures. So first off, the mills plate, whatever size you want. This one's pretty big, 2.5 base plates by 3 base plates. I just use the underlying brick, which of course is 1x2s and 2x2s, and then I top it with 16x16s in this case. Luckily, I have a lot of 16x16s, so I'm able to use those, but you can use whatever you want, of course. And then I put in the supports. These are lattice elements. You can put them every 16 studs, so it's like between the plates there. And that, of course, is going to support our art panels. I'm just using 2 pins per art panel, and I just pin them together like so. If you're making a giant one like this, then you've got to pin together an entire row, put pins on the other one, like on the other side, sorry, and then pin together another row and then put them together just like the art plates or the old school art, like stud art pieces. And then I covered it all with 2x2 plate and 1x2 plate. I found a lot of these on the pad wall. It comes in super handy. Ideally, I'd like to use 16x16 greens, but I don't really have any, so I'm just using these parts here. Why not? and then I just cover it with the green plate there. And the nice thing about this is it's raising it up 2 plates, and these art panels are actually 1 brick, 1 plate. So now it's at an even brick dimension when I put it on those supports over there. So when I go to do the rock work, everything is going to line up nicely because I've taken something that's an odd dimension, 1 brick, 1 plate, and increased the height of it to 2 bricks. So it's just going to work out a little better in the end. Once I get this fully plated off there in green, and I get this plated off in green as well, then I can pop it on top of the supports, and it turns out just like this here. So of course this is very tedious work here, and it consumes a ton of pieces, like a ridiculous amount of pieces, but it is what it is. It's going to give us the base structure for the campground. Got to get her done. So once I'm done this giant module that I just featured, I've got to build 1 more. And then the base construction is done. Woohoo! I definitely feel like I wore the right shirt for this build today. That makes sense. I don't know if you noticed it, but I made a little bit of an error in my last clip. Like when I was showing you how I build these modules, there was an error, but I fixed it. And I built the other one. And I started the foundation for the gravel road. I don't know if it needs to be said, but it's not done yet, but this is just like part of the process of building those giant mountains or hill modules similar to the other one there in the Lego City. This is built differently than the other one because, like I was mentioning, there's a lot more flat spots, and I topped all those 16 by 16 plates with greens. So a lot of the work is already done, but there's still a lot of big question marks. The first one is the road. So I built it up using reddish brown. It looks funny right now. I did a reddish brown nose plate technique, but I bordered it all with the reddish brown brick. And the reason I built it up 2 bricks up off these and actually up off the plate there is because now it's at the right height. Once again, this is the height of the road on the other side. Sorry, the height of the bridge that is going to be connecting across to this road. And that's why I left this whole place open here, is because this bridge is going to come across, and maybe we can do some really cool stuff on the sides with like support work of the bridge, or more like natural support work, or whatever it may be. So I decided to recess this in one 16 by 16 panel just to give us more space here. Also, I wanted to give this more of a unique shape, so it's not just like a wall of rock all the way along, because obviously we're going to be using a lot of rock to blend this all in. But the road, it pops up here. This is just like 16 studs. It's built up 2 bricks, and then I'm starting to bring it down 1 brick, and eventually I'll get it right down to this height here, because we're going to have to build our tunnel entrance, which is right there. Now this tunnel is going to be more of like a false tunnel. It's not going to be like the one that I built not too long ago, where you can actually peer through and see the other side of the tunnel, because the other side of the tunnel actually isn't aligned with this. That's all right, because tunnels curve. Some of them do. And some of them actually go downhill as well. And this one, of course, is raised up, whereas the other entrance on the other side is lower down. So there's not really a way to make it so you can peer through. So it's more so going to be like a false tunnel. Now this road isn't going to be the only road here, because I need to service all of the campsites. I'm thinking there's probably going to be a smaller road that branches off that's maybe like 8 studs wide, so half the width of this one here, and it's going to feed through here and go to various campsites wherever they may be. Now I need to figure out how I'm going to bring this small road that branches off here up there to the high ground, because it's got to go up like 10 bricks, which is quite a bit. So there's going to have to be some sort of slanted gravel road, which will be definitely an interesting build. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I guess I'll figure that out. Now, the shape of this might change in the future. I thought it was cool to have these like little pop-out sections on this plate, like pops out. It's sort of weird. It's like, oh, well, where are you going to put the campsites? But I think it'd be cool if it was just like a ridge coming out there and another ridge sort of popping out there, and then you could have like secluded little campsites or little scenes within these little like nooks that are going to be created once I actually get all the blending done. So I think that's going to be pretty neat. And we have a little bit of height change up here too. Like I raised this big plate up 2 more bricks, and then as you can see, this is flat right here, so this is going to be like a steep ridge, but then it comes in like this so I can have like, have it not be as steep there. And there's a lot of work that we could do in here. Like we could have caves and stuff underneath. And I think I'm definitely going to try and do that with this particular section of the city. And the other section, I didn't do it. But because there's such big height differences and flat spots, I feel like it's going to be easier to build caves. For example, it's going to be easier to reinforce a section right here and build a cave underneath. And maybe we could put like the Seven Dwarves mine in there or something like that. Now, I don't want to get too carried away with the reddish brown, because if I take it apart, it'll break on me. So I've got to make sure that that aligns with my road based on the math and everything that I did. It should align, but I like to measure 8 times before actually committing to building. This took a long time. It's like, it doesn't look like I got much done, but mills plating all of this and also pinning all the plates together and locking together all of the giant mills, like it pretty much all had to be like reconstructed. Everything had to be removed. All of the big 16 by 16 plates had to be taken apart to expose like the edge of it so I could merge them all together. And now I feel much happier with the big chunks that this is in. The next step for me is to go around and start blending all of this stuff in with like rocks and slopes and all that, just like we did with the other ones. And I also need to figure out what's going on with this road. But it was definitely a great start, and I can't wait to place this down here in the Lego City. Of course, that's where it used to be. I should probably measure and make sure I got everything right. I think I did. But it's going to be built a little bit differently this time. I'm not going to haul that down, place it, and then haul it all up a couple days later and continue to build it, then haul it all back down and then haul it all up again and add more detail. Like, I'm just going to keep it up there until it's done. I'm just going to focus on that project until it looks like that, but has a campground. And maybe I'll save some of the like other details that I want to add, you know, like the cave and all that for later, but I don't know, we'll see. There's a long way to go on that project, but it's pretty hard to believe that all of that is up here. I guess that's really not too hard to believe at this point. We've been building giant things like this for a long time. Probably not the right phrase, but either way, it is a good start. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Have yourselves a great day. Bye for now.